so like Whitney said, you're going to be getting a lot of contacts while you're here. And we've heard stories about vendors at expos who take all their stack of contacts, their stack of business cards, and put them in a drawer and don't ever do anything with them. That really defeats the purpose of your participation in the expo. So if you do a little bit of prep work on the front end before the expo, then you'll be able to use those right away following the expo and really start engaging with your new contacts right away. Who uses like an email marketing list or CRM system? Yeah. So those are really your two best ways to start engaging with people. If you don't already have a customer relationship marketing database or system that you use, there's tons of options, and I definitely recommend, I'll show you some in just a second, looking into them and considering them. There's lots of free options that have, you know, as you grow, you can decide whether or not it's worth adding the paid features or not. But go ahead and be ready to go the day after the expo and get them into that system and shoot out an email that next day that says, we were so glad to meet you at the expo. Here's some information about our business. Here's our contact information. Here's a coupon for 20% off one item. Come visit us. We want to see you. So that they know you're responsive right away. And then you can start a campaign that, you know, a week later, hey, we're having a special sale for anybody who saw us at the expo. Here's the discount code for your online purchase, whatever it is that you want to do. But you can start engaging with them. And if they know that you met them at the expo, then it helps add a little bit of a personal touch to it. If you got their contact information and didn't schedule an appointment with them already, call them within the next week and set that appointment. Just do whatever it was that you promised them you were going to do. I would say by Friday. So you'll have like 3 full days. And most of the time you'll be able to tell who your best prospects are, put those at the top of your list, get those appointments scheduled first, and then still make sure you're following up with the others as well. Okay, CRM systems are customer relationship management systems. They are basically databases that track your contact with people. They can do different things. They can sometimes incorporate marketing, emails, or tasks. If you know you need to call people, you can track your contact with them over time and see when you need to follow up with them again. So they're just really useful tools. Like I said, there's lots of free options. Sorry. Here are some of the free options. And you know, they all have different features. So you may have to look at one or two to decide, you know, which features are right for you. Most of these are all free. This is all the free stuff that they provide. And then some of them have upgrade fees. I've used HubSpot before. It's very user-friendly. I think Insightly is also very popular. So if you haven't looked at one, just check them out, see if it's for you. But do it ahead of the expo, like I said, so that the day after you can get those contacts in there right away and start using that system. If you're not using a CRM system, an email marketing list or service is also a great alternative. Within most of those, you can build lists. So you can have like an Expo 2018 list, and everybody that you met at the Expo 2018 goes into that list so they can be a part of that drip campaign that you're doing after the Expo. Like I said, I recommend going ahead and getting them in there the next day if you can and sending out that first email. So set it up ahead of time. So all you have to do is get that information in there and hit send and tell them, you know, thank you for coming. We appreciate your contact information. We want to set up an appointment, whatever it is that you want them to do. Just make sure you include some call to action in that email. And these are some email subscription marketing services that you can use. MailChimp does have a free version. Whitney can help you answer questions about that. There's lots of training available on MailChimp. Also, Constant Contact. There may not be a free, no, there's not a free option for Constant Contact, but as a chamber member, you are eligible for a discount. So if that's something that interests you, let me know. We can get you the information on how to get that discount. But like I said, very important. And if you're not using some kind of email marketing, you're really missing out on some really good contacts to make with people. Any questions about ways to follow up or what you should be doing afterwards? This year our registration is going to be a little bit different. At the registration desk will be using computers to check everybody in, basically. So when people arrive, they'll have to put in their first name, last name, company, and one piece of contact information. It will either be a phone number or an email address. So we're going to be capturing that for everybody who comes into the expo. And that is available to you for purchase if that's something that interests you. See us later. Otherwise, you can definitely still collect the information in your booth for the people that come by your booth. But like Whitney said, you may be missing out on some people. So see us for questions about that. And other than that, I will hit a few like nuts and bolts things that didn't really fit into these categories, and then we'll be done. Okay, anybody need electricity in their booth and not signed up for it yet? Okay, it is available for you, but we have to run it, so we charge a fee for that. So if it comes up in your planning that you're going to need electricity in your booth, just let us know ahead of time so that we can have that run for you before the event. Otherwise, we'll be running around like crazy people trying to get electricity to your booth, and it may or may not be able to get done in time. So let us know ahead of time, and we'll run it the day before. The hospitality suite, I'm going to like scroll back here so I can show y'all where it is. Okay, the hospitality suite is between 210, like this room, and the Sugar Moon, the restaurant, is over on the other side. So it's in between. The bathrooms are over on this side, and then there's a little room over here. That's where the hospitality suite will be. Like I said, you'll have wristbands, and there'll be an ambassador there monitoring that, so that all people with wristbands go in there, so that you'll have a chance to relax a little bit. And like Whitney said, lunch will be at 2 o'clock, and that 2 to 4 time period will also have some beverages, beer and wine in there for you, so that you can have a moment to relax, because I know it's a long day. Speaking of the long day, so we had a task force meeting with some prior expo participants earlier this year, and they requested that we change the time of the expo. So traditionally our expo has been 10 to 5. They wanted it later. Everybody was in agreement that was invited to that task force meeting and came, that they wanted it to go start a little bit later and then end later, so that people could come in after hours. So if we end at 5, if you work till 5, a lot of times you couldn't come. So that's why they requested that we extend the day until 7 o'clock. So we were worried a little bit about the draw. So we wanted to make sure that we had something to draw people in that time. So that's why we implemented the best restaurant voting. So that will be from 4 to 6. We've asked all of our restaurants that are participating to make sure they have fresh samples. They're all doing samples during that time period. So hopefully that will help draw people in. So as you're promoting the event, make sure you're promoting that as well. That will help us increase that crowd in the afternoon time. And we'll see how it goes. So with changes like that, we always need feedback. Every year after the expo, we send out a survey to all of our exhibitors, and we get okay response. If you have thoughts and opinions about things you would like to see or not see at the expo, please take a few minutes to fill that out. It is important in our planning process, and that's the way that we make sure that we're implementing the things that you want. If you tell us the day of, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, we'll try and remember, but we can't promise that we're going to remember that, because we're running around doing a lot of things. So make sure afterwards that you take a few minutes to evaluate your opinions about it, and make sure you share those with us so that we can always improve the event for you from year to year. Any questions?
Oh, and speaking of Sugar Moon, be sure you don't unload or park or anything on that side where Sugar Moon is, because you won't have access from there in.
The restaurant should be.
Yeah, there will be no access to the expo through Sugar Moon. That door will be, I mean, it has to be open because the bathrooms are over there, but we'll have somebody posted here so that no entrance, you can't come in through Sugar Moon, you have to go in through the main entrance. And please share with any employees that you have working your booth that they will have to stop at the registration desk and sign in. We just want to make sure that we're capturing everybody's information, so they will just have to sign in like everybody else, and then they can head straight to your booth, and you can give them their wristband once they get to your booth, or you can get it to them ahead of time if you want. Just make sure that they know they have to stop at registration.
When do you guys need the total count for each employee that will be there?
When you come to set up, you just give us the employee, and we'll just give you the wristband.
Tell them about the shuttle.
Oh yeah, overflow parking. So the parking at 210 is not as convenient as the parking at Convention Hall. So we had to sacrifice convenient parking to get a bigger space to hold all you exhibitors. So There will be some parking, there is some parking across the street from 210, where the gravel lot is, but it's not gonna be enough, so make sure that you're sharing with your employees. There's overflow parking at Convention Hall, and there will be a shuttle running all day.
I had a question as well. What are some of the better ways to display your actual logo? Like, would a banner be like the best way?
Banner is the standard, and
Is
we'll
it
have the
standard?
the hooks that are made to go over the pipe and drape. So we'll have those for you if you don't have them, but your banner needs to have grommets to be able to use those. So if you have a grommeted banner, those are great. Other signage, I mean, you can do. There's.
I think it is. I can't remember.
They usually are. They usually come with
I think
grommets,
it's Melanie too, even window.
and that should be okay. I think it'll be okay depending on how wide it is. But you'll definitely want to make sure that you have some signage, and you can get those made pretty inexpensively and pretty quickly too if you need to have one made.
And then also, go ahead.
Sorry, what are your suggestions for Chick-fil-A, having ready food all day long and restock, so where would we need to?
There is a small kitchen, that it's, okay. There's a little hallway right here, and there is a small, it's not really a kitchen, it's like a concession stand. So you can store some stuff in there if you need to, but most of the time at Convention Hall, I think people were just making runs throughout the day to most of the restaurants to reload fresh samples. But we'll work with you. Let us know if you have needs, and we'll try and see what we can do for you. Any questions? Okay. Well, we're here to answer any questions if you need us. Make sure you join the Facebook group for the exhibitors. It's a closed group, so you have to just request to join, and we'll approve you. We'll be posting things like this presentation in there and comments. We'll share articles that have good engagement tips, stuff like that. So make sure you join that group. If you have questions of other exhibitors, you're welcome to post in there or contact us directly, and we'll help you out. Okay. Thanks, guys. If you need to see a layout, come see me or Whitney.